Welcome back to Creating a Coaching and Consulting Business with Purpose and Passion, Part 3, Defining Your Purpose and Destiny. So in this video, we are going to dive deeper. We are going to go actually the deepest or the highest, if you want to think about it that way, that we're going to go in this conversation about what you're up to. We've talked about business models, we've talked about your values, your stories, your strategies, and now I want to go into what motivates you, what drives you at the deepest and highest levels. This is your purpose and your destiny. So I've put together some deep questions for you. So I invite you to turn off all your distractions, pull out a journal and a pen, and let's get to work. So your purpose is the thing that drives you that's bigger than you. Think about it as what you'll be leaving behind, your legacy here on this planet. I like to also call it your North Star, like your North Star that guides you. Even when you're lost, you can come back to your North Star and remember who you really are, why you're really here. Now, if you're anything like how I was several years ago, I used to relate to my purpose like something that I hadn't found yet. I remember times where I would meet somebody who had a really strong purpose, and I would be a little bit envious. I would think, wow, they're so lucky that they figured out their purpose so early on, and here I am, I haven't found my purpose yet. And just in my language, you can understand that the way that I was relating to purpose was almost like if it was a rock that I hadn't stumbled over yet. Like it was a circumstance, right? And that it was out there somewhere, but I hadn't found it yet, or it hadn't found me. And I invite you to consider if you have that experience of like, I don't know what my purpose is. I wish I had it. I wish I knew what it was. She's so lucky because she knows. I invite you to shift your focus, do a big reframe, and think about it instead of being something you find or that finds you, that you think about it instead as something you choose, and that you can choose again and again and again, and you can change again and again and again. There's no person in the sky taking note of like, Michelle created her purpose on this day and wrote it down in stone, and like you can never change it. The beauty of a purpose is that it can evolve, it can grow. When you choose it, you can re-choose it or choose something else at any moment. You can choose it every single day. And I think that this is a really much more empowering paradigm for purpose, where it's something that you choose and that you maybe even grow into. Like it might be something that seems so big that you're like, well, that's too big for me. I say pick it anyways. If it inspires you, choose it, because the idea is for your purpose to inspire you to step into a bigger version of you. So I'm just going to start with a few simple questions, and let's just have a conversation about purpose. The first thing I would invite you to is, what do you care about that's bigger than you? What is something that really draws your heart and your spirit, and maybe you spend time doing it even if it's completely separate from your business? What is it that pulls you forward? What inspires you? I'll tell you that I've always gotten inspired by stories of people like heroes, people who help others, people who inspire others, people who are on a stage or writing books or motivating others. That's the books that I've always read have centered on characters like that. I've just always been drawn to those types of stories. So what stories are you drawn to? What impact do you believe the world needs? Another way to look at it is, what are some of the challenges or problems that you see out there that you would love to wave a magic wand and change? Also think about your own story, like your past, your childhood. What did you love when you were a kid? What drew you? What inspired you when you were younger? Just start to think about and stew in some of these questions. Another way to think about this is, imagine that you had an unlimited bank account. You had all the money in the world. What would you invest in? What would you want to see grow in the world that with an unlimited budget you could actually make happen? Another question is, what kind of people are you inspired by? What kind of people pull you forward and inspire you to show up in a bigger way, inspire you to lead? what leaders out there are doing things that you really admire. And I now want to share with you an exercise that I came across many years ago. I don't remember who came up with it or where it's originally from, even though I've looked. But I call it the obituary exercise. So the obituary exercise is basically you sit down, you get quiet, and you imagine your funeral. You imagine the day that all the people in your life gather together to honor you and to talk about you. And I want you to sit down on that day and imagine the speech that one person, one important person to you gives about you. What does that speech say? What is the obituary that they read or that they share at your funeral? By the way, before you pause this video to write your obituary, take a moment and like my video, subscribe to my channel, and I'd love to read your obituary below if you care to share. So as you write your obituary, you'll want to be thinking about, what do you want to be remembered for? What do you want other people to have gotten from your existence? What do you want to leave behind? What changes will you have wanted to make in the world? Who do you want people to remember you as? What emotions do you wish and hope that you inspired in others? Did you write some books? Did you leave behind your stories as a legacy? Did you leave behind your wisdom in some way that people can consume it later? I don't know. There's no right answer to this exercise, but I will tell you this. If you start to find yourself feeling emotional, you're on the right track. And if you find yourself really intellectualizing this exercise and getting really into your head, I invite you to close your eyes, hand on heart, breathe deeply and slowly, and do the macabre, perhaps, exercise of just imagining your own funeral. Like, really imagine if you were there from up above, staring down and looking at the people in the room. Who's in the first row? Who's in the second row? Who's on the pulpit speaking about you? Take a look at the casket open with your body in it. If that's what it takes to get you into the moment and really thinking about what matters to you, what do you need to leave behind? All right, I hope that exercise was helpful for you. I'm sorry if it's a little bit morbid, but I think you know why I had to do it, because it's so important to pull you out of your current present moment experience and forward into a future that will absolutely happen someday. And we never know when that's going to be. So I invite you, if you want to make sure that you leave nothing undone and nothing unsaid, nothing uncreated that's inside of you, let's connect. If you're curious about how to align your business with your purpose, your passions, your destiny, all those beautiful things, check out superstarbusinessbreakthrough.com. I look forward to meeting you.